in every street and corner. We can see that in the pavement or in the where we live, or in the pavement, street food stalls appears everywhere, and of course it is one of the main factor which cause the pollution and the traffic jam. Firstly, as we can see that the street food stalls is definitely remains a great part and occupies a great deal of gap, and consequently it not only does it stem from the pollution, the garbage, the sludge around the city, but it also prevents traffic jam, and it makes the cars and the people can move smoothly. And thirdly, the street food stalls also makes people to be stressful because when it generated the traffic jam, people as myself when I was in the traffic jam, I feel very stressful, and consequently it also take great real esteem and be one of the most vital to occupy the place for houses.
Thank you very much. Now, Cung Huyen Anh, you also have 2 minutes to state all your arguments.
Yes, well, my side is negative news. My idea is we shouldn't clear all the street food stalls every street corner in Hanoi. And there are 3 main reasons for this. The first, this kind of fact comes from a very old habit of Vietnamese people. In the past, we focus on agriculture, so people together they sit down in small groups and they sell the agricultural products they make. Yeah, so it's a very old habit from the past. So it's a very, characteristic tradition of Vietnamese people, which represents a country focusing on agriculture. The second reason is nowadays most people who sell fruits on the street are from the village and they are very poor. Most of them used to be farmers, and when they get old, they have no job, but they still have to support their family. So there is only one way for them is to keep depending on their agricultural product, and they decided to move to the city where there are big consumers and they sell food to support their family. So if these kind of street food stalls are cleared, how can we solve the problem of unemployment of farmers? It takes like 90% of Vietnamese population. And my last reason is those foods that are sold in street food stalls are all traditional food. The food that nowadays most young people do not know about. They know about KFC, Gigi or something, but to ask them about bánh tét or some kind of zor, which is very different from the north to the south. No, they do not know. So and now is the era of globalization, when Vietnamese young people do not know what is our character. Do not know our character. How would we define ourselves when the foreigners come to our country and we just know about the KFC? Well, nothing about our traditional food. Yes, so they are my 3 reasons not to clear all the street food stores in Hanoi.
Okay, now I would like to invite Madam Tien. You have 1 minute to give her 1 question or 1 rebuttal.
Okay, can you move over? I just have this question. As you say, you regard the street food stalls as conventional to represent characteristics of the country, but it cannot be denied that street food stalls
of Hanoi. So there are still many other places which have the gap of a modern city, like Royal City or near the Changjiang Plaza. Yes, and even in those kind of places which grab the side of modern city, when the foreigners come and even when Vietnamese people go there, they still tend to find something traditional, something familiar to them. Because if we do not combine those two styles, we will not be Vietnamese anymore.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Cung Huyen Anh, you have 1 more minute to give one question or one rebuttal to her supporting arguments.
Yes, you say that the reason to clear all the stalls is because of pollution and traffic jam. But as I see, some street food stalls only on the pavement. Why do you say it causes traffic jam? And about, yes, that's my first question.
Okay. Firstly, as you see now, when you go to the city, there are so many street food stalls. They occupy a great deal of a gap of the pavement. So we don't have any. Sometimes the workers, we don't have any place where instead they have to go to the road.
So can you give me 3 names of the streets where there are too many street food stalls that create traffic jam for those who walk on the pavement?
Okay, clearly, I would take my city as an exemplary example. Is Phuong Thuy Street?
Phuong Thuy.
Yes, attention, is Phuong Thuy Street. Sometimes the street food stalls, they occupy too much pavement and the houses. So in my city, it's always cause the congestion and pollution. People don't have any other way to live and to go.
So that is one street. Give me 2 other names, please.
Okay, as you can clearly see more in my school, my foreign specialized school, the family. Yes, and finally, my grandma's house is
Yes. So about the street, Phuong Thuy is a very a point where there are too many people gathered here. So it should be crowded. The second about Phuong Thuy is kind of new street, although it has been there for a long time, but people tend to open the road because it's a main route. So only some street food stalls on the pavement cannot cause the traffic jam on Phuong Thuy Street, and the road is quite long. So which part of the road are you referring to? And about Lang Ha Street, I've never seen any traffic jam caused by street food stalls on that street at all.
Firstly, about Phuong Thuy Street, where I'm staying at, you have to see it because not only because when there are so many street food stalls, it would definitely create a small market, and small market, it will definitely generate the congestion.
Yes.
And Phuong Thuy Street, yes, I have to admit that not every time, not always that there are so many street food stalls, but when in my turn to go to that way, I just think that when I stop my bike or I walk, most of the time, there's the food street seller. They go through the road, and just one person go and the next person do that after, and they would definitely generate the congestion.
There are 2 problems in what you've been saying about Phuong Thuy Street. If there is a tendency that many small markets will